I'm live. Excellent. Let's hope this one works. I just tried to start a live stream that wasn't working for some reason. So it's not even 9 o'clock, and I'm starting a little earlier than normal because I need to get to bed earlier. I have work tomorrow, and I have to wake up early, so we're gonna do this early. So I'm going to start off with some journaling because I haven't done that today. Uh-oh, almost dropped it off the desk. So let's do that. I'm gonna actually move this out of the way because it's kind of in the way. There we go. All right, so today is Thursday, September 4th, 2025. And how did I start my day? Let me think. This morning I got up. All right. What was that? Oh, okay, interesting. Lunch. I had a sandwich for lunch. It was ham and cheese. Excuse me. JRD says, "What are you doing?" I am journaling. And Fariandika Pratama said hi, and Adriana Judith Cruz says hello. So yeah, what I'm doing is I'm journaling at the moment. I'm starting this live stream a little earlier today than I did the other times because I have to work tomorrow, so I have to wake up early, therefore I have to sleep early. So that's why I'm starting this a little earlier. And just to start off today, while I was waiting, I decided to do a journal entry, so I'm gonna do that for a little bit longer. So far, I've only gotten up to lunchtime, and it's almost 9 o'clock, so I've got a little bit more to write about. But once I'm done writing, I'll start reading my Bible as well, because that's another thing I have to do before I go to sleep. Interesting. Alright, so let's see, what did I do after lunch? My dog is out in the living room and she's whining because she doesn't want to be in her crate right now. I write my whole day every day. Yeah, so I give a basic overview of what I did in a day. Yesterday was only 3 paragraphs, so I don't like write extensively every time. But yeah, I give a basic overview of what I did in that day, and sometimes I write down some of the things I've been thinking. But I don't usually go into all that. Sometimes I do. Do I like to draw? I do like to draw somewhat. I'm not very good, and it's been a while since I've done it. But I do draw a little bit. I think I might have one of my pictures on this shelf somewhere. Let me see. Maybe not. Oh. Yeah, none of these are my pictures. But yeah, I do draw a little bit. I write more than I draw. Maybe I have some down there. Doesn't look like it. I don't know where I put my drawings, but I know I have some. But yeah, it's been a while since I've actually sat down and tried to draw. Try self-reflective writing. Yeah, I do some of that every once in a while, but not all the time. You know, sometimes I'll write what happened in a day. Sometimes I'll, write down the things that I've been thinking about, the emotions I've been feeling throughout a day. And it really just depends on the day. Let's see. Where was I? Do I know the actor Mike Hawk? I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know. What movies is he in? I might recognize some of them. I don't know. I see. Kenneth Wood says hi. Hello. What am I writing? I am writing in my journal. for today. So I'm going to be writing in my journal, then I'm going to do some of my Bible reading. Those are some of the things that I do before bed. And then after I get those two things done, I'll probably talk a little bit as well. Might talk a little bit in between as well. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's see, what did I do after that? What is the name of that? There's an account that I just opened today with, forget the company's name, but that was fun. I had to read through a whole bunch of terms and agreements. That took maybe an hour or two. What was that company's name? Why do I ignore your comments? I didn't intend to. Did I ever watch Brian? How do you pronounce that last name? Well, whoever that is, have I watched him on YouTube? No, I haven't. I'm not familiar with the name. I don't remember the thing, so I just have to leave it unnamed. It bothers me that I don't remember what that company was named. See you later. I think that's about all I did today, but I don't remember what that company's name is, like I said, so that's bothering me. I'll have to look that up later. Alright, so now that I've done my journaling, looks like I'm up to date on all of the things in the chat for now. So let's move on to this thing. Just gotta take it out of the box. Ouch, my thumb's stuck. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to be reading in Psalms. I'm just going to read one chapter because it's a long chapter. I made it to Psalm 119. Alright, let's do this. How many pages? $176. No, that's not right. There we go. 742. 737. So that's 5 pages. All right. Well, that's not too bad. All right. Let's begin. Psalm 119. How blessed are those whose way is blameless, who walk in the law of Yahweh. How blessed are those who observe his testimonies. They seek him with all their heart. They also do not work unrighteousness, they walk in his ways. You have commanded us to keep your precepts diligently. Oh, may my ways be established to keep your statutes. Then I shall not be ashamed when I look upon all your commandments. I shall give thanks to you with uprightness of heart. When I learn your righteous judgments, I shall keep your statutes. Do not forsake me utterly. How can a young man keep his way pure? By keeping it according to your word. With all my heart I have sought you. Do not let me stray from your commandments. Your word I have treasured in my heart, that I may not sin against you. Blessed are you, O Yahweh. Teach me your statutes. With my lips I have recounted all the judgments of your mouth. I have rejoiced in the way of your testimonies, as much as in all riches. I will muse upon your precepts, and look upon your ways. I shall delight in your statutes. I shall not forget your word. Deal bountifully with your slave, that I may live and keep your word. Open my eyes, that I may behold wondrous things from your law. I am a sojourner in the earth. Do not hide your commandments from me. My soul is crushed with longing for your judgments at all times. You rebuke the arrogant, the cursed, who stray from your commandments. Take away reproach and contempt from me, for I observe your testimonies. Even though princes sit and talk against me, your slave muses on your statutes. Your testimonies also are my delight. They are my counselors. My soul clings to the dust. Revive me according to your word. I have recounted my ways, and you have answered me. Teach me your statutes. Make me understand the way of your precepts, so I will muse on your wondrous deeds. My soul weeps because of grief. Raise me up according to your word. Remove the false way from me, and graciously grant me your law. I have chosen the faithful way. I have placed your judgments before me. I cling to your testimonies, O Yahweh. Do not put me to shame. I shall run the way of your commandments, for you will enlarge my heart. Instruct me, O Yahweh, in the way of your statutes, that I may observe it to the end. Cause me to understand, that I may observe your law, and keep it with all my heart. Cause me to walk in the path of your commandments, for I delight in it. Cause my heart to incline to your testimonies, and not to dishonest gain. Cause my eyes to turn away from looking at worthlessness, and revive me in your ways. Cause your word to be established for your slave, as that which produces fear for you. Cause my reproach, which I dread, to pass away, for your judgments are good. Behold, I long for your precepts. Revive me in your righteousness. May your loving kindnesses also come to me, O Yahweh, your salvation according to your word. So I will have an answer for him who reproaches me, for I trust in your word. And do not take away the word of truth utterly from my mouth, for I wait for your judgments. So I will keep your law continually forever and ever, and I will walk in a wide place, for I seek your precepts. I will also speak of your testimonies before kings, and I shall not be ashamed. I shall delight in your commandments, which I love, and I shall lift up my hands to your commandments, which I love, and I will muse on your statutes. Remember the word to your slave, in which you have made me wait. This is my comfort in my affliction, that your word has revived me. The arrogant utterly scoff at me, yet I do not turn aside from your law. I have remembered your judgments from of old, O Yahweh, and comfort myself. Burning indignation has seized me because of the wicked, who forsake your law. Your statutes have become my songs in the house of my sojourning. I remember in the night your name, O Yahweh. So I keep your law. This has become mine, that I observe your precepts. Excuse me. Yahweh is my portion. I have promised to keep your words. I have sought to please your face with all my heart. Be gracious to me according to your word. I thought upon my ways, and I turned my feet to your testimonies. I hastened and did not delay to keep your commandments. The cords of the wicked have encircled me, but I have not forgotten your law. At midnight I shall rise up to give thanks to you. The word up is not in there, I'm sorry. At midnight I shall rise to give thanks to you, because of your righteous judgments. I am a companion of all those who fear you, and of those who keep your precepts. The earth, O Yahweh, is full of your loving kindness. Teach me your statutes. You have dealt well with your slave, O Yahweh, according to your word. Teach me good discernment and knowledge, for I believe in your commandments. Before I was afflicted, I went astray, but now I keep your word. You are good and do good. Teach me your statutes. The arrogant have smeared me with lying. With all my heart I will observe your precepts. Their heart is covered with fat, but I delight in your law. It is good for me that I was afflicted, that I may learn your statutes. The law of your mouth is better to me than thousands of gold and silver pieces. Your hands made me and established me. Give me understanding that I may learn your commandments. May those who fear you see me and be glad, because I wait for your word. I know, O Yahweh, that your judgments are righteous, and that in faithfulness you have afflicted me. O may your loving kindness comfort me, according to your word to your slave. May your compassion come to me, that I may live. For your law is my delight. May the arrogant be ashamed, for they wrong me with lying. But I shall muse on your precepts. May those who fear you turn to me, and those who know your testimonies, May my heart be blameless in your statutes, so that I will not be ashamed. My soul fails with longing for your salvation. I wait for your word. My eyes fail with longing for your word, saying, when will you comfort me? For I am like a wineskin in the smoke. But I do not forget your statutes. How many are the days of your slave? When will you execute judgment on those who persecute me? The arrogant have dug pits for me, men who are not in accord with your law. All your commandments are faithful. They have persecuted me with lying. Help me. They almost made an end of me on the earth. But as for me, I did not forsake your precepts. Revive me according to your loving kindness, so that I may keep the testimony of your mouth. Forever, O Yahweh, your word stands firm in heaven. Your faithfulness endures from generation to generation. You established the earth, and it stands. They stand this day according to your judgments, for all things are your slaves. If your law had not been my delight, then I would have perished in my affliction. I will never forget your precepts, for by them you have revived me. I am yours. Save me. For I have sought your precepts. The wicked hope for me, to destroy me. I shall perceive your testimonies. I have seen a limit to all perfection. Your commandment is exceedingly broad. Oh, how I love your law. It is my meditation all the day. Your commandments make me wiser than my enemies, for they are mine forever. I have more insight than all my teachers, for your testimonies are my meditation. I perceive more than the aged, because I have observed your precepts. I have restrained my feet from every evil way, that I may keep your word. I have not turned aside from your judgments, for you yourself have taught me. How sweet is your word to my taste, sweeter than honey to my mouth. From your precepts I get perception. Therefore I hate every false way. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. I have sworn and I have confirmed to keep your righteous judgments. I am exceedingly afflicted. O Yahweh, revive me according to your word. O be pleased with the freewill offerings of my mouth, O Yahweh, and teach me your judgments. My soul is continually in my hand, yet I do not forget your law. The wicked have laid a snare for me, yet I have not wandered from your precepts. I have inherited your testimonies forever, for they are the joy of my heart. I have inclined my heart to do your statutes forever to the end. I hate those who are double-minded, but I love your law. You are my hiding place and my shield. I wait for your word. Depart from me, evildoers, that I may observe the commandments of my God. Actually, the other day I was talking about my favorite Bible verses. I think that one's my favorite. Psalm 119, 115. Depart from me, evildoers, that I may observe the commandments of my God. All right, continuing on. Sustain me according to your word, that I may live, and do not put me to shame because of my hope. Uphold me, that I may be saved, and that I may have regard for your statutes continually. You have rejected all those who stray from your statutes, for their deceitfulness is a lie. You removed all the wicked of the earth like dross. Therefore I love your testimonies. My flesh quakes for dread of you, and I am afraid of your judgments. I have done justice and righteousness. Do not leave me to my oppressors. Be for your slave a guarantee for good. Do not let the arrogant oppress me. My eyes fail with longing for your salvation and for your righteous word. Deal with your slave according to your loving kindness, and teach me your statutes. I am your slave. Give me understanding that I may know your testimonies. It is time for Yahweh to act, for they have broken your law. Therefore I love your commandments, above gold, even above fine gold. Therefore I deem all your precepts concerning everything to be right. I hate every false way. Your testimonies are wonderful, therefore my soul observes them. The unfolding of your words gives light. It gives understanding to the simple. I opened my mouth wide and panted, for I longed for your commandments. Turn to me and be gracious to me, according to your judgment, for those who love your name. Establish my steps in your word, and do not let any wickedness overpower me. Redeem me from the oppression of man, that I may keep your precepts. Make your face shine upon your slave, and teach me your statutes. My eyes shed streams of water, because they do not keep your law. Righteous are you, O Yahweh, and upright are your judgments. In righteousness you have commanded your testimonies, and in exceeding faithfulness. My zeal has consumed me, because my adversaries have forgotten your words. Your word is exceedingly refined, therefore your slave loves it. I am small and despised, yet I do not forget your precepts. Your righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and your law is truth. Trouble and anguish have found me, yet your commandments are my delight. Righteous are your testimonies forever. Give me understanding that I may live. I called with all my heart. Answer me, O Yahweh. I will observe your statutes. I called to you. Save me, and I shall keep your testimonies. I eagerly greet the dawn and cry for help. I wait for your words. My eyes eagerly greet the night watches, that I may muse on your word. Hear my voice according to your loving kindness. O Yahweh, revive me according to your judgments. Near are those who pursue wickedness. They are far from your law. Near are you, O Yahweh, and all your commandments are truth. Of old I have known from your testimonies that you have founded them forever. See my affliction and rescue me, for I do not forget your law. Plead my cause and redeem me. Revive me according to your word. Salvation is far from the wicked, for they do not seek your statutes. Many are your compassions, O Yahweh. Revive me according to your judgments. Many are my persecutors and my adversaries, yet I do not turn aside from your testimonies. I see the treacherous, and I loathe them, those who do not keep your word. See how I love your precepts. O Yahweh, revive me according to your loving kindness. The sum of your word is truth, and every one of your righteous judgments is everlasting. Princes persecute me without cause, but my heart is in dread of your words. I rejoice at your word, as one who finds much spoil. I hate and abhor lying, but I love your law. 7 times a day I praise you, because of your righteous judgments. Those who love your law have much peace, and nothing causes them to stumble. I hope for your salvation, O Yahweh, and I do your commandments. My soul keeps your testimonies, and I love them exceedingly. I keep your precepts and your testimonies, for all my ways are before you. Let my cry of lamentation come near before you, O Yahweh. Give me understanding according to your word. Oh, somebody's boiling water. Let my supplication come before you. Deliver me according to your word. Let my lips pour forth praise, for you teach me your statutes. Let my tongue answer with your word, for all your commandments are righteous. Let your hand be ready to help me, for I have chosen your precepts. I long for your salvation, O Yahweh, and your law is my delight. Let my soul live, that it may praise you, and let your judgments help me. I have wandered off like a lost sheep. Search for your slave, for I have not forgotten your commandments. All right. I'm also going to go ahead and read Psalm 120, because it's kind of short. A song of ascents. In my distress I called to Yahweh, and he answered me. O Yahweh, deliver my soul from a lying lip, from a deceitful tongue. What shall he give to you, and what shall he add to you, O deceitful tongue? Sharp arrows of the warrior, with the burning coals of the broom tree. Woe is me, for I sojourn in Meshech, for I dwell among the tents of Kedar. Too long has my soul had its dwelling with those who hate peace. I am for peace, but when I speak, they are for war. All right, I'm going to close that up now. I'm reading from the Legacy Standard Bible, by the way. It's my favorite translation and my preferred translation to read out of. I read, or my Bible study rather, we went over Psalm 119, and it was some good discussion. I really liked that chapter. It's one of my favorite chapters in the Bible. I just dropped something, hold on. There we go. Stick that in here. But yeah, it's a really good chapter. So now I'm going to open this up to y'all. If you would like to ask me any questions about the Bible, feel free to leave those questions in the chat, and I'll try to answer as best as I can. The other day, I had some questions that were interesting, and I got into a debate over Islam versus Christianity, which was interesting. And it definitely made me realize that I need to increase my knowledge because I didn't quite know as much as I would have liked. And while I'm waiting for y'all's questions, let me go ahead and advertise this again. This is my book, Amuplion Perdicup Floppin' Cobb, A Novel of Nonsense by Nigel T. Fick. That's me. It's, how many pages is this? 248 pages. It's not necessarily geared towards kids specifically, but it is kid-friendly, written in a way that kids can understand, well, somewhat. It's kind of like a comedy adventure, and I wrote it in a way that's supposed to be funny but also confusing, so some things make sense to me and me only. But sometimes I get enjoyment out of the confusion of others. That's why I write some things that are specifically intended to be confusing. But anyway, this is available on Amazon if you would like to purchase that. I believe it's $10.99 on Amazon. And then also, I have this available on Amazon. It's a 366-day Bible reading schedule. It's the schedule that I follow, although I'm a bit behind. And it's got, let's see if you can see here. I don't know how well y'all can see that, but it's got it separated into 3 different parts. So some verses to read in the morning, some in the afternoon, and some in the evening. And if you stick to the evening reading plan, you'll read through the entire Bible in a year. And the reason it's a 366-day Bible reading schedule is that it works on leap years too. So if you go to February 28th. So right here, it says February 28th, and then it says on leap years, and it goes back to February 27th. So if you were to read this on a non-leap year, you just skip from February 28th to March 1st. But if you go on leap years, you use this section, the February 27 to 29. So it works both on regular years and leap years. And I don't remember how much this is, but it's on Amazon as well. And as I was explaining earlier, I just started an account with some company. I don't remember the name, which is frustrating me. But anyway, once I get that all figured out, I'm going to be writing short stories, and y'all can subscribe to that to get short stories. And I don't know when I'm going to start that. And I don't remember the name, so I'll have to tell you all that later. But that's something interesting. And actually today I started writing a short story, which I'm probably going to put on there, but actually the purpose for that story was I'm writing it for a friend. So I have a friend who's starting a YouTube channel, and he's going to get some of his colleagues to help him do dramatic readings of short stories and put those on YouTube. And so he asked me if I would want to write some short stories for them, and so I started doing that. I started one today, and I think it's about halfway done at this point, but maybe not, I don't know. It's going to be really short, fewer than 10 pages probably, and it's basically about a family that goes on a camping trip on the Appalachian Trail. The twist, though, is that it's a horror story, so there's some scary things that go on. It's not like anything terrible, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I've got a very special way that I'm planning on doing that. All right. Well, it looks like everybody left. Excellent. That's sarcastic, by the way. I had maybe 3 or 4 people listening to me reading, and then everybody's gone. All right. Oh, I just recently purchased this. It's a New American Standard Bible, and it's extremely small print, as you can see here, but it's the entire Bible on as small a Bible as you can get. So I bought this specifically so I could carry the entire Bible in my pocket. And of course I haven't taken this anywhere yet, but I plan to eventually. Let's see, can I even read this? I'm pretty sure I can. Yeah, I can read this. So that's good. Yeah, alright. Well, at this point, I'm just kind of waiting for interactions from the viewers because I've kind of run out of things to do. So if you have any questions about the Bible, feel free to leave that question in the chat, and I will try to answer. In which case, after a couple minutes, I'll probably just go back to reading because I've got nothing else to do. And while I'm waiting for that, maybe I'll find some things on my shelf to talk about. I don't know. I guess what I can do is talk about the organization of my shelf. So, ignoring these 2 things here, this top shelf is my apologetics / theological books section. So I've got some books here talking about world religions. And some of these books actually aren't on the shelf. I put them somewhere else, but they go here too. But let's see, I've got some books by John MacArthur, Ray Comfort, Paul Washer, Todd Friel. This book is actually out of order. I like to keep them separated by author. That's by John L. Cooper. He's the lead singer of the rock band Skillet. He's got 2 books. I've only got 1 of them. Down here, I've got some of my other, I don't know what you call them. I guess research. I don't know. This is a commentary by Matthew Henry. These are books about the Gospels. This is a Strong's Concordance with Hebrew, Chaldean, Greek dictionaries. And this is an older book. This actually belonged to my great-grandmother. And I have a modern, updated version of that right here that my grandmother gave to me. I use those every now and again, but not often. Down here I've got my Christian fiction, then my children's books, and then the bottom shelf is just for whatever I want to keep down there. Over here I've got a bunch of movies, and I've got it separated into Christian movies and secular movies, and then I've got some video games. And over here on this other shelf, I keep this. This is like secular fiction. And then down here is historical books and then cookbooks. Down here I've got a bunch of works by Charles Dickens, and then extra papers and school books that I no longer use. And then I had a section for old books, but I moved those old books into a safe to keep them safe. Obviously, what else would you do with a safe? I've also got some dictionaries down here. Alright. Well, it looks like nobody's asked any questions, so in that case, I am going to go to some study for my Bible study that we're going to be meeting this Tuesday, and I haven't studied what we're going to be talking over yet, so how about I do that? That would probably be a good thing to do, and I have... Let me grab my notebook so I can keep notes. I think that's over here for a second, so I'll get that real quick. Where did I keep that? Here it is. All right. So I've got this. And where's my pen? There's my pen. Oopsie daisy. Let's use this one instead. All right. So, we were last in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, and I'm going to be starting 1 Corinthians chapter 4. So let me turn to 1 Corinthians chapter 4. Perfect. Oh yeah, I have a bookmark there. That's good. Actually, let me grab my other notebook as well, because it has some important notes that I need. Should have grabbed it while I was over here. There we go. All right. Now I can get started. So, 1 Corinthians chapter 4. And how many verses are in this? 20. 20 verses, verses 22, verse 23. So, I think we'll do the first 10 or so. Okay, looks like the first 7. We'll start with the first 7 verses and see what happens there. So, actually, before I begin reading and studying this, I want to pray over it because it's important to pray while you're reading as well, because, you know, that's just kind of how things work. God communicates with us through His Word, and we communicate with Him through prayer, so it's good to have a back and forth. But Lord, I thank you for this time to study from your Word, and I just pray that, Holy Spirit, you would guide me, that you would teach me, show me your truth as I read, and I pray that I would be able to arrange my thoughts in a way that is comprehensible, and that the Bible study on Tuesday would go well. And I pray these things in Christ's name. Amen. Alright, so we're going to be looking at the first 7 verses. Let me go ahead and just read them. Let a man consider us in this manner, as servants of Christ and stewards of the mysteries of God. In this case, moreover, it is required of stewards that one be found faithful. But to me it is a very small thing that I may be examined by you, or by any human court. In fact, I do not even examine myself. For I am conscious of nothing against myself, yet I am not by this acquitted. But the one who examines me is the Lord. Therefore do not go on passing judgment before the time, but wait until the Lord comes, who will both bring to light the things hidden in the darkness, and make manifest the motives of hearts. And then each one's praise will come to him from God. Now these things, brothers, I have applied to myself and Apollos for your sakes, so that in us you may learn not to go beyond what is written, so that no one of you will become puffed up on behalf of one against the other. For who regards you as superior? What do you have that you did not receive? And if you did receive it, why do you boast as if you had not received it? And that's as far as I'm gonna go for now. So let me look at my notes here. All right. Yeah, so I think think that's good for now. Let me look into the notes that John MacArthur has here. I've got a MacArthur Study Bible. So 4:1. So John MacArthur says, Paul wanted everyone to view him and his fellow ministers only as the humble messengers of God ordained them to be. And when it's talking about servants, Paul expresses his humility by using a word literally meaning under rowers, referring to the lowest, most menial, and most despised galley slaves who rowed on the bottom tier of a ship. And then talking of stewards, Paul defines his responsibilities as an apostle by using a word originally referring to a person entrusted with and responsible for his master's entire household. For example, buildings, fields, finances, food, other servants, and sometimes even children of the owner. And then referring to mysteries of God, mysteries is used in the New Testament to refer to divine revelation previously hidden. And then it says to see these notes. Here the word is used in its broadest sense as God's full revealed truth in the New Testament. It was all that truth which Paul had to oversee and dispense as God's servant and steward. All right. So Paul is saying that he doesn't want to be seen as more than just a servant of Christ and stewards of the mystery of God. And in saying that he is stewards, he's saying that he is a servant of Christ, tasked with conveying the truth of the gospel. And so that is Paul's, and Apollos also. He mentions Apollos later. That's his responsibility. That's our responsibility too. We each have different responsibilities, but our main responsibility is to share the gospel. And I need to refill my water because I am out. Usually I wouldn't use a water bottle, but our water filter in the moment is still filtering water, so I just grabbed a bottle. It's quicker. Delicious. All right. Oh, there we go. Now let's read what John MacArthur says for verse 2, faithful, and referring to faithful. The most essential quality of a servant or steward is obedient loyalty to his master. That is right. Oh, well, that's it. That's all he had to say. It is required of stewards to be found faithful, is what he's talking about. So yes, he's a steward of Christ, and it's important that he is found faithful. Okay, what does he say about verse 3? Human court. Paul is not being arrogant or saying that he is above fellow ministers, other Christians, or even certain unbelievers. He is saying that a human verdict of his life is not the one that matters, even if it was his own. And so whether or not he is found faithful doesn't really matter what others think, it's what God thinks. So people might find him to be faithful, or other people might find him to be unfaithful. He might think so of himself, but whether or not that is the case is solely for God's judgment. So in verse 4, John MacArthur says, Paul was not aware of any unconfessed or habitual sin in his own life, but his limited understanding assumed that his was not the final verdict. Paul's own sincere evaluation of his life did not acquit him of all failures to be faithful. He is the ultimate and only qualified, he being the Lord, he is the only ultimate and qualified judge of any man's obedience and faithfulness. Right. So God is the one who ultimately judges, and decides whether we were obedient and faithful. In verse 5, talking about things hidden in the darkness and motives of the hearts, these refer to the inner motives, thoughts, and attitudes which only God can know. Since final rewards will be based not just on outward service but on inward devotion, only God can give the praise each deserves. So yeah. And then in verse 6, when it talks about these things, Paul is referring to the analogies he used to depict those who minister for the Lord, including himself and Apollos, farmers, builders, and servant stewards. And then discussing your sakes, Paul's humility, expressed in light of God's judgment on the greatest apostles and preachers, was used to teach believers not to exalt any of them. That's the end of the sentence. And then talking about what is written, God's faithful servants are to be treated with respect only within the bounds of what is scriptural. And then puffed up, pride and arrogance were great problems in the Corinthian church, right? Let's see. Let me read verse 6 again. Now these things, brothers, I have applied to myself and Apollos for your sakes, so that in us you may learn not to go beyond what is written, so that no one of you will become puffed up on behalf of one against the other. Somebody is moving around in the kitchen. Paul is referring to the analogies. Paul's humility expressed in light of God's judgment on the greatest apostles. Yeah. So don't exalt teachers above their human standing, because we're only human after all. God's faithful servants are to be treated with respect only within the bounds of what is scriptural. And so, yeah, respect those who are over you, those who are teaching, but only within the bounds of what is scriptural, right? And then in verse 7, talking about boasting, pride is deception, since everything a person possesses is from God's providential hand. All right. Am I a pastor? Because I can translate the Bible into easier version easily. I am not a pastor, no. I don't have any position of leadership in my church at all. I'm just a guy who likes to read God's word and understand it. Actually, I say I have no position of leadership. I actually do teach a Bible study. Well, not teach it, but lead it. I go over what we're supposed to be reading that day, just so I have an understanding of it, and then I bring it before the other people in the Bible study, and we kind of discuss it. And so yeah, I guess I do somewhat have a position of leadership, but not like a great position, like not a high position. So let me grab this thing here. So we're gonna be in, there we go, 1 Corinthians 4, verses 1 through 5 we'll discuss first. So 1 Corinthians 4, verses 1 through 5. And that man consider mysteries. So let me see. Oh, already doing things differently than I did last week. That's okay. So how do I summarize those first verses? Servants. So Paul wants considered as nothing more than a servant of Christ. It is his duty as a steward of the gospel to teach the word faithfully. The judgments and condemnations of man mean nothing, because God is the only judge. He is the one who will reveal the intentions of the heart and will award accordingly. All right. And then after that, looking at 1 Corinthians 4, 6, and 7. So a really faithful servant for the one and only God, that is good enough, right? I don't understand the question at the moment. Could you perhaps rephrase it, because I'd like to understand that, but I don't. But yeah, let me read over what I just write. So Paul wants to be considered as nothing more than a servant of Christ. It is his duty as a steward of the gospel to teach the word faithfully. The judgments and condemnations of man mean nothing, because God is the only judge. He is the one who will reveal the intentions of the heart and will award accordingly. All right. So now in chapter 4, verses 6 and 7, these things I have applied to myself and Apollos for your sakes. Do not go beyond what is written. Excuse me. Regard you as superior. What you did not receive, and if you did receive, why do you boast as if you had not received? Okay, that one's a little more difficult. So, verses 1 through 5, for some reason, were really easy to understand. Verses 6 and 7 is a little more complex. Let me see if I have another. I've got a New King James here. Maybe that'll help me if I read over that. So in 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. These things, brethren, I have figuratively transferred to myself and Apollos for your sakes, that you may learn in us not to think beyond what is written, that none of you may be puffed up on behalf of one against the other. For who makes you differ from another? And what do you have that you did not receive? Now, if you did indeed receive it, why do you boast as if you had not received it? Unfortunately, the commentary in this Bible is not as extensive. These things, what are these things that he's talking about? It's basically telling them not to be proud and not to think of themselves more highly of than they ought to think, which he talks about in other verses that I've read before this. You know, I was talking about my commentary earlier. Why don't I go ahead and use it? So Matthew Henry, maybe he has something. Chapter 7 of 2 Corinthians, that's too far. 1 Corinthians, chapter 7? No, not 7. Chapter 4, verse 7. Verse 7 through 13, it says... 6, chapter 4, verse 6, verse 7. I guess this is in the King James. For who maketh thee to differ from another? He separates it differently. I'm reading 6 and 7. And these things, brethren, I have in figure transferred to myself and to Apollos for your sakes, that ye might learn in us not to think of men above that which is written, that no one of you be puffed up for one against another. For who maketh thee to differ from another? And what hast thou that thou didst not receive? Now if thou didst receive it, why dost thou glory, as if thou hadst not received it? All right, let's see what Matthew Henry has to say about verse 6. 3. As far, and... Apostles. The apostle here lets us into the reason why he had used his own name and that of Apollos in this discourse of his. He had done it in a figure, and he had done it for their sakes. He chose rather to mention his own name and the name of a faithful fellow laborer than the names of any heads of factions among them. Ah, interesting. And hereby he might avoid what would provoke, and so procure for his advice the greater regard. Note, ministers should use prudence in their advices and admonitions, but especially in their reproofs, lest they lose their end. The advice the apostle would by this means inculcate. What? By this inculcate. What does inculcate mean? Gotta use my dictionary again. I am running out of places to put things. Careful. All right. Inculcate. In C, in C, in L, inculcation, inculcate. To tread in, tread down, to trample underfoot, to impress upon the mind by frequent repetition or insistent urging. So synonyms: impress, urge, enforce, infuse, instill, implant, press, teach. Okay, got it. Move these over here again, and this up here. So basically this teaching is what he's saying. Where was I? Missions, The advice the apostle would by this means teach was that they might learn not to think of man above what is written, above what he had been writing, nor be puffed up for one against another. Apostles were not to be esteemed other than planters or waterers in God's husbandry, master builders in his building, stewards of his mysteries, and servants of Christ. And common ministers cannot bear these characters in the same sense that apostles did. Note, we must be very careful not to transfer the honor and authority of the master to his servant. We must call no man master on earth. One is our master, even Christ. We must not think of them above what is written. Note, the word of God is the best rule by which to judge concerning men. And again, judging rightly concerning men, and not judging more highly of them than is fit, is one way to prevent quarrels and contentions in the churches. Pride commonly lies at the bottom of these quarrels. Self-conceit contributes very much to our immoderate esteem of our teachers, as well as ourselves. Our commendation of our own taste and judgment commonly goes along with our unreasonable applause, and always with a factious adherence to one teacher in opposition to others that may be equally faithful and well qualified. But to think modestly of ourselves and not above what is written of our teachers is the most effectual means to prevent quarrels and contests, sidings, and parties in the church. We shall not be puffed up for one against another if we remember that they are all instruments employed by God in his husbandry and building, and endowed by him with their various talents and qualifications. All right, so yeah, basically what this is saying is not to think of each other more highly than you ought to think. You know, we're all, even the teachers are just men. So, excellent. Yeah, that clears it up for me. So it's basically repeating what's already been said, which is good. Repetition is good. That's how you learn. So yeah, 6 through 7. Who regards you as superior? If you did receive it, why do you boast as if you had not received it? So, Paul again minds the believers at Corinth to not think of themselves more highly than they ought. We must remain humble and remember that we are but men. Even teachers are only instruments in God's hands. There we go. Okay, so that's as far as I'm going to go with that, because last time we went through an entire chapter and that took too long, and I had other things I wanted to do for that Bible study. Where did I put my other notebook. Misplaced a notebook somehow. Not there, not there. Did it fall? Hello? Huh. Interesting. Maybe I put it... No, not in there. Huh. How do I manage these things? I have no idea. All right. Well, I misplaced one of my 2 notebooks. I'll find it before I need it, I'm sure. Let me put a bookmark in this. All right. So yeah, now I have studied for Bible study, and of course I'll think about it a little more throughout the rest of the week. But I just wanted to get a basic understanding and write down the meaning of the text. And on Tuesday, when I do that Bible study with the people in my church, hopefully we'll come to a good understanding. Let me throw this on my bed over there. Excellent. I'm still frustrated that I misplaced my other notebook. Let me throw this over there too. And this. There we go. Did I somehow set it in this stack? No, I did not. And it's not on the floor. I am really confused. I don't know where that went. Okay. Well, so I wrote in my journal. I did some Bible reading. And then I went and did some studying for Bible study on Tuesday. I don't think there's really anything else I have that I want to do today other than maybe answer some questions. So if y'all have any questions about the Bible, feel free to leave those in the chat and I'll try to answer them. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to shut this thing off. Let's see. Let's look at this here. Looks like I have 6 different people who left things in the chat. All right. Well, again, like I said, I signed up for some program. I forget what the name of it is, and it's still eluding me, which is bothering me. I'll be able to look it up as soon as I'm done with this, but what is it called? Let me see. Not able to look at that. I don't know. I don't know. It's already been over an hour or so, and there's no viewers, so I'm just going to go ahead and shut this thing off. To any of you who are watching this after it's no longer live, thank you for sticking around to the end. I appreciate that. Gives me some view time, and I'm trying to rack up view time, so that's good. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like. If you enjoy this sort of content, consider subscribing. I do lives every now and again, not really a regular schedule at the moment. I did have a regular schedule, and then things got busy, and so yeah, things have been busy. I haven't been able to stream like I used to, but I'm trying to get back into the habit. Again, I've got a book here, Mupleon Perdigot Floppencob, a novel of nonsense. You can look that up on Amazon. Just look up my name, Nigel T. Fick, and you can buy that on Amazon for $10.99, I believe. And then there's my Bible study as well. I'll go ahead and set this. Oh, it doesn't fit. But yeah, I've got that as well. I don't remember the price for that. Maybe $13, something like that. And then I've got some short stories that I've been working on, and those will be available to purchase eventually. More updates on that coming later. But yeah, it's getting late, and I have to work early tomorrow, so I should probably turn this thing off and get to sleep. So I will see y'all in the next one, whenever that may be. Y'all have a good night. God bless.